What's going on, guys? Thanks for joining me here on Feature Junkie. My name's Ed, and today we're going to be talking about the new movie, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Directed by Joaquin Dos Santos, Kemp Powers, and Justin K. Thompson. Starring Shameik Moore, Haley Steinfeld, Oscar Isaac, Jake Johnson, Luna Lauren Velez, and Brian Tyree Henry. So after the success of Into the Spider-Verse, Sony comes out with the next installment of Across the Spider-Verse. This film is a two-part film, and I have so much to say about this film, but before I do, if you could leave a like down below, I'd greatly appreciate that. Now let's get into the plot courtesy of IMDb. Miles Morales returns for the next chapter of the Spider-Verse saga, an epic adventure that would transport Brooklyn's full-time friendly neighborhood Spider-Man across the multiverse to join forces with Gwen Stacy and a new team of Spider people to face off with a villain more powerful than anything they have ever encountered. So I'm just gonna say I really did enjoy this film. A lot of people have this one ahead of the first film, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I'm not gonna go that far to say that because I did enjoy the first one a little bit more, but this one isn't bad at all. As I said in the beginning, this is a two-part series, so I think in the first film, right, you just don't know the success of this type of movie, so they really just give you that formulaic, introduce the Spider-Man, here's the villain, defeat the villain all in one movie, where this one, it's really a lot of setting up for the next film. And this film does some really cool stuff in the beginning of the film, but honestly, for the most part, I found it just a little bit boring. Now, the last 40 to 50 minutes of this film, I really felt like elevated the rest of the film. They are setting so much stuff up for the next film, and they're keeping this one just a little bit more grounded, but explaining those intricate parts of the plot to help you kind of understand, you know, the multiverse and how that stuff works with the Spider-Verse. With the Spider-Verse, I feel like they're just doing so much into that where like literally anything can happen. There's so many cameos in this film, and this isn't a spoiler because Amy Pascal did already confirm that they are working on making a live action Miles Morales film in the future. I don't have any information if that has to do anything with the Spider-Verse films, but we'll wait and see for that. But going back to just the Spider-Verse aspect of things, I really did love diving into the different dimensions of these characters. It's really cool the different art styles they have in each dimension as well. The animation, I can't say enough about it, is next level from the first film. And the first film I thought was incredible. In this film, we see so many different type of styles like anime and watercolor and comic book strips and some live action. So many stuff that they jam pack in this film that I can't say enough about with this animation department, and the editing in this thing is just really well done. Now, one of the big pivots that they do in this film is that they go so much deeper into Gwen Stacy's background story rather than Miles' story. They do a little bit of Miles as well, obviously, because the movie is around him, but I really did love those aspects of Gwen Stacy's life. Now, as far as the story, like I said before, the beginning was just a little bit too draggy because I felt like they were really, again, developing these characters, which I already felt like we did that in the first film, but they do it even more in this one, which is fine. And when it comes down to it, the meat and potatoes of the plot and the moral of the story is how far will you go to protect the things that you believe in? And I think that's just such a strong story to tell, and I really do love the fact that they have all these Spider-Man, which not all Spider-Man, not all people have the same beliefs, have the same thought styles. So to have Miles and to have Miguel really clashing at each other, what they believe Spider-Man's purpose should be, you know, I think that was just a brilliant move to make. Now, I've never played the video game or read the comics of Miguel, so I'm not really invested into his character, and I felt like they didn't really do a good job getting us invested into his character either. Just one small clip of him looking at a screen at his family, and I guess we're supposed to feel what he feels, and I don't know, it kind of just like threw me off a little bit. But yeah, overall, I think this film is beautiful. I think that it's definitely more intricate and definitely more deep and more advanced than you would typically see in these type of cartoon films. So I think people might have like a little bit of a misconception going into this film that it's gonna be like a comedy, haha, action, all that stuff, where there is some of that in here for sure, but most of it is really just setting up for the next film. I can tell you my wife was sitting next to me, and although she did enjoy some aspects of the film, she thought for the most part, it was a little bit boring. But for me, as a big Spider-Man fan, I feel like there was a ton of Easter eggs in the background that you can't miss at all if you are a Spider-Man fan, and I think you're just gonna have a great time watching this film. So for me, it's gonna be a recommend, but I want to know what you guys have to say about this film. If you liked it, if you didn't, whatever your thoughts are, leave them in the comments down below. And if you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe, hit that notification icon down below so you know when I'm going live or dropping new content. And I want to thank you guys so much for joining me here today on Feature Junkie.